Hi, Carlos. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for letting me read your chart and see what's coming up for you. And it's a great honor to be a part of your journey in some small way. Um, we're going to talk about the transits, but I want to make sure we have some foundation points before we go. Okay. And one of them is I want to talk more about your Saturn. First of all, it's because we had just had a really big shift in Saturn, but for you, it's because Saturn is so important for you. So let me show you why. Okay, so first of all, your Saturn is exalted in Libra in the 10th house. Exalted means it's at the highest amount of power available for that planet. It's also in the nakshatra of Chitra, which means the shining one. It pretty much says what that is. Um, but because it is in an exaltation point, it means that this, even though you have Atma Karaka, which is your soul significator, which is Jupiter, this is really your chart ruler is Saturn because it's in what we call a Sasha yoga. This is a yoga that depicts great beings because of it's exalted and because it's in the 10th house, because it's in one of the angle houses from your ascendant. This is your ascendant and this is your 10th house. We have in the 10th house, it means that the qualities of Saturn are who you are. And the qualities of Saturn are discipline, responsibility, structure oriented, focused. And all of this leads to a person that has great success, who is a great success. And because it's in the 10th house, you are a great success in work and career and purpose. Now, that does not mean that it's easy. It means there's a lot of obstacles. You have a lot to go through to get there. Obviously, you can see because you have so many planets there with Pluto, which means explosive changes. But it does guarantee that you will have that. And this is important because we just had a shift of Saturn in the last week or week and a half. Um, no, I guess just a few days actually. On the 18th, was it the 18th? It was just recently. But let's talk about your ascendant as well before we go into the transits, because we want to go into that. The transits of Shravana, your ascendant is in the nakshatra of Shravana, which means to listen. So because I'm giving you this information because knowing that your identity comes through your work and your career, that your ascendant is in a dharma house, which means your purpose is so important. And because you have all of these planets in your 10th house of dharma, of work and career and how people see you, it's also fame. It means that you are going to be searching constantly searching for what it is that you are here to do. And I want to give you these couple things so that you can think about that and maybe get some places to look or kind of think, oh, well, maybe it needs to incorporate these things. So Shravana, your ascendant is in Shravana, which means to listen, which means you are a good counselor. You are so good at hearing. It also means you can hear things that maybe other people cannot, otherworldly things. So this is something to remember when you're looking at what is my purpose, because part of the illusion of your dharma is because when you try to do something, you have Mars in the 12th house of the subconscious and the unconscious. Mars is the general of the sun, who is the king of the king. And there's a hierarchy in the cosmic order of things. And Mars being in the unconscious is constantly just doing these unconscious things and also trying to understand things in the unconscious, the occult, all these things, but nothing really sticks. So you just keep consuming things. And it doesn't stick because you're not grounded in anything that it can like be off and running. It's constantly just kind of swimming in the cosmic ocean. And that's part of what this is, but this is the setup, right? We all have a map that we can look at called the charts, but it shows us the predilections, and it shows us the things that we have issues with, and we all have these really big challenges. And Saturn is the planet of challenges, and it's affecting who you are to the core. And the things that could help you fight through it are in the unconscious, in the occult, in the other realms. So that's kind of what's happening here, on the generalized way, and this will help us as we go forward. One thing also to note that could help you with the Saturn, by the way, it does give you longevity, so you have a long time to work through this and to find your way with it. But the other thing is that, and you may not feel this way because these transits can make people feel, especially with Mars, it could make you feel like, I just want to work with people and I just want to be with people. But the fact of the matter is that you do have a lot of leadership in your chart, and Saturn is the task master, right? So we have the king, and the king reports to different people, and the taskmaster is the one that just kind of goes, okay, make sure you're doing this. Make sure you're doing this. You've got to make sure you're disciplined. You got to make sure this is the goal. So we're going to do it this way. That's a leader, and you are Saturn. So there is a taskmaster in there. And so having your own business, it is going to be probably helpful if you think about, well, just feel that out. Then listening, so listening, counseling, working with people. If you can, read The Greatness of Saturn. I know we talked about this before, but right now you are in your Saturn period still. You are in Saturn, Saturn, K2, Jupiter. So those three planets are the most affecting. They're delivering the karmas to you now, and because you have it exalted, and because you have the Sasha Yoga, you're gonna want to know more about Saturn. So I don't know if you ever read it, but I really recommend you read it. Also, the other added benefit of reading it, and first of all, there's a lot of reading for you coming up in the next year, but the other benefit of it is that Saturn will help relieve some of the harshness of his lessons and obstacles. You'll still have them, but they are lessened because you're reading it. Also, the other thing about Shravana in your ascendant is that it is on what is called the fixed star of Altar, and that fixed star is the star of power. So you've got the shining one, which is your main chart ruler, Saturn, and you've got your ascendant on the fixed star of Altar. These are really powerful, right? And you've got the Sasha Yoga, the yoga of great beings. I mean, I just want to give you that. It's just beautiful things. Remember, too, that you're in your Saturn, K2, Jupiter, and that your Atma Karaka, which is your soul significator, is Jupiter. It means it's your oldest planet, and at the soul level. So you've got the personality qualities as a human being of the Saturn, and your soul, you are the Jupiter, the guru, the expansion, which is why it's really challenging to be so expanded and go from such an expansion, um, uh, philosophical, spiritual being to, in a form of leadership, spiritual leadership, to the Saturn, which is about work. It's about day to day. It's about structure, discipline, responsibility. It's a very interesting challenge. I'm talking like from your soul being incarnated into this. That's what I'm talking about. Remember that Jupiter is right now in your 6th house. So let's go to right now. Jupiter is in your 6th house of health and healing, of work, of debt, of pets. And then right now we have Saturn, which just transited into your 3rd house. 3rd house of courage, determination, and so giving your likes and your transformations, courage, determination, and fortitude, and communication, giving it fortitude, making it more straightforward. It may also make you sometimes, Saturn can make you want to not talk to people. You might be more internalized. But when you do, it'll be straightforward. And you're a very honest person. And it's, because you have the qualities of Saturn, which is straight up honesty. You do not, you have a lot of integrity in that way. So then we have the 10th house, responsible, career, like sharing, working together, leader. Okay, we did that. Okay, so Saturn now moving into Pisces that it just moved into recently. You'll see it's at 5 degrees Pisces now, and it's with Neptune. Pisces is the most spiritual sign. And right now you have Venus there, which is exalted. So there's a lot of creativity there. And Saturn's there to kind of give it structure, boundaries, and it grounds everything. Saturn's with Neptune. It's just started to have a conjunction. It will be completely full soon. This is for Wednesday. This is the Wednesday chart. So today is Monday and this is Wednesday. So this is when we have Neptune in Pisces, we have a lot of illusion. Neptune can be spiritual and can add to your spiritual insights and intuition, but a lot of times it is illusion. And the thing about Saturn is that it can ground everything, which kind of means that it cuts through those illusions, it's a challenging time. If you can imagine, we're all, you've got your creativity aspects, you've got your Neptune and Neptune of a spirituality and illusions, delusions, with Saturn trying to ground all of this, and Pisces going, no, let's dissolve everything and let's just be free. And because it's a moksha house, that house 3 for you is a moksha house. And so you're communicate. This is all in your communication. So you have a lot of creativity and wanting to talk a little bit more flowery, but Saturn doesn't really like that. So there's this a little bit of a thing there. Just okay, so it's going to be in Pisces for 2.5 years. What this really means is that for the next 2.5 years, you want to really learn new things, because this is the things that you like, that you take interest in. This is kind of, Saturn's going to say, let's dig into this a little bit. Okay. So you're going to want to learn new things. There's going to be obstacles. Saturn will always create obstacles at the same time. It wants you to do things and it will give you the fortitude to work through those obstacles, but you have to work through them. So right now you're wanting to learn new things. So really for you, I want to point this out because it's an interesting thing that I don't know if we've talked about before, but you have a lot of writing in your chart, and this is the year. If you're going to do writing, this is the year. I'm not sure if you're interested in writing, and maybe it would just be that you would start journaling more. But you have a book in you, and it's in your chart to have that. So if you feel the compelling, please write it, and write it now. It's going to be extremely successful for you to write. And it's going to be extremely rewarding. Really, and reward is success. So also you want to think about your siblings, because this is your 3rd house of siblings. So they may need some help. You may feel like you don't want to really be around them. And you also, again, might not want to be communicating that much with people, because Saturn it depends on how it works out for you, and everybody's different, but it can just make you more direct and more like cut to the chase, and it could also make you want to go inside. So then we also have a the last couple of years, because Saturn just came from your second house, it was a lot of hard work and patience to try to make money, to try to do things for the family, and you may have felt estranged from the family for some reason. But now in the third house, um, remember that detachment could happen through with the siblings, but you will be compelled to learn new things. You will branch out. You'll be more disciplined to do so and to carry through the obstacles. You'll have maybe social media is going to come into play. Social media could be good writing for social media, connecting to more people. Saturn with Neptune, the siblings may have something to reveal or give you awareness of, and that'll come in June or August. So between June and August, sometime you might have some kind of revelation with them. They might reveal something to you. Remember that Saturn's taking away illusion, and that's really going to come into play between June and August. Okay, so then we're going to move to, so on Wednesday, we're going to go to some more general things, but I want to do, let's do that. Let's keep going. Sorry. When I wrote notes for you, I wrote them on, my brain, I have a brain injury, so I don't do things like it's very strange how my brain works now. I'm getting used to it. Okay. So let's look at Rahu and Ketu, because Rahu and Ketu just changed as well. So right now we have Rahu and okay. So you used to have Rahu in the third house. We've been having that for the last year and a half. So you might have already had a disruption with the siblings, or the father might have been struggling, that kind of thing. Because it was in the third and ninth aspect. Ninth house is your father. Okay, but it just moved in and it will be here for another 18 months into the second and eighth house. Rahu's in the second and Ketu is in the eighth. The second house is money and family. So you want to really, Rahu is obsessed, compelling. It wants to do things. It also can create illusion, but you really start to feel this incredible, whereas Saturn was in your second house, and it gives you the discipline to work hard, and you really have to overcome battles, and it's really kind of struggling. It tells you to work for money, but it makes a lot of obstacles. Rahu just kind of goes, all right, let's do this. and no matter what, you just have to do it, and you feel compelling to do it. So there's going to be that in there. And because of that, you have great, great wealth coming to you in the next year. And they said in the transcripts of what Rahu and Gemini is, that for you, especially this year because of all the transits, this will be the luckiest year for you. This will be especially in terms of money, it's going to be a very financially blessed year. You got to make sure you're not working to your detriment, because you could become a workaholic in this. But you definitely are going to be having money and definitely going to be having luck. Great wealth, great wealth. You're more inspired. Money comes easier. So you're going to find answers about your psyche and get messages from the other side. This is because Ketu is in your ninth house. So you're going to have, your psyche is you're going to be getting messages. You're going to be wanting to connect deeper to a higher power or your higher self. And that's going to be more available to you, which is a beautiful thing to have, especially for your Jupiter, your Atmakaraka. Okay, so we have, let me make sure I have it on like 5 different pages. Yeah. Okay. And so then let's talk about the yes. So also the other thing, oh, yes, deep research. You're going to want to be doing deep research and making discoveries about things. You're going to get information about things that could even be things that nobody knows, like new things. You could actually invent things. And your psychic abilities are going to be huge and right on. So right now, your psychic abilities this is happening right now. Your psychic abilities are just going to be taking off. Um, you're going to be introspective and have self discovery. So really, take up journaling. Start to ground this, and you have fame in your chart. So if if you start to journal the journey of what you're going through, it will mean something, especially if you do get the fame that is in your chart. That matters to people. Keeping record of how you grew, how you struggled, all those things are really helpful to people. Can really help people later on, and might even give you impetus for your books. Um, there's going to be spiritual change and transformation that gives you just more psychic powers. Um, okay, Rahu. Yeah, career struggles relieved, contentment, long you could do some long travels, and you have a knowledge for hunger. And there is authority here. You will have a sense of authority, um, especially in these spiritual matters, because K2 is your experience. It's what you came in with that you know a lot about. So you're going to start to feel that. So let's go through that's like the generalized. And now we're going to go through more details. So that's Wednesday. Let's go through Wednesday. So Wednesday, where did I put that? Okay, right here. Okay, Wednesday. So here we are. We have your this is your ascendant, right? And sitting with the transiting, we talked about the Pluto. Here is we've talked about the second house. Now it's with the moon. So you also have a right now the moon is in your second house. This is from now till Wednesday. It's in your second house, which is giving you that it's going to have your mind is going to be thinking a lot about how to make money for your family, how to make money for security, how to really kind of make these big changes, big financial changes. Your moon is going to be supporting with the Rahu. It can get, like I said, you can get a little bit workaholic and a little bit nutty about it, but like that's okay. It's just going to pass in a couple. It's going to pass in a couple days. But take the energy of for Wednesday and really start to plan like how can I do this? Because the other thing is, we talked about this too, I think. Um, your sixth house. Oh, Jupiter. We didn't talk about Jupiter. Jupiter, your sixth house of Jupiter just had Jupiter transit. Um, and that is in your sixth house. So again, health and healing and work and the and enemy friends. It's about enemies and pets. So Jupiter, it used to be in your fifth house, so you had a lot of things with kids. Your kids probably were doing really well. Romance, creative, you were probably expressing yourself. Fertility. It was a good year for investments as well, but now it's in the sixth house. It just changed in the last 2 weeks. It's in Gemini, and this is bringing expansion into your sixth house. Um, and it's also, you remember you have Jupiter in your 10th house. It's going into your sixth house. So get ready to work because that's going to bring in a lot of job opportunities for you, especially in that area and in your area of Dharma. But it also, because it's in that, it's going to be health. You're going to have a desire to have healthy things, to exercise more, to feel healthy, to eat better. It's going to be easier to work and be productive in the workplace. People will get along with you. They'll be more cooperative now, and you may even want to hire people to help you. Um, so it's going to go into Cancer in October. I think I have that chart here somewhere. Let's go to it. It's going to go into. Let's see. Here, I have it in November. Here, here's Jupiter at 0 degrees in Cancer. It is going to go into Cancer, and you're going to get a glimpse of 2026 to 2027. So, Jupiter stays in one house or one sign for a year and then it changes. But this year it's going to retrograde out for about a month, about 6 weeks, and it's going to go back. So you're going to get a glimpse of what the next year is going to be about. When you get into that, it'll be more of that. It's in relationships. It's going to be all about relationships for you. It's in the seventh house. It's in Cancer. You're going to be, it can strengthen your relationships, the one that you have, and it can also bring in new business partners, new partners for you. Business partners, especially because you have Jupiter's in the 10th house. So business partners, and so you're going to feel that expansion there but the rest of the time, for a year, it will be here in your 6th house. So yeah, that's beautiful things for you for that. And let's go into, so right now, Mars is debilitated in Cancer. It's transiting. Your natal Mars is in the 12th house, swimming in the unconscious and the other realms. But Mars is transiting in Cancer, which is debilitated, which means it doesn't have a lot of strength right now. So you might feel, and this is in your 7th house of relationships. So you might feel in your relationships like you don't have any power, and that you can't really stand up for yourself, and you feel it's debilitated. So you're kind of lame ducking, and you kind of go in and out into subconscious stuff just to kind of escape. You're escaping, but but soon it will leave. And let's see. Soon it will be out of there, and we will go into, I think it's June 8th. Yeah, June 8th. This is June 8th. It'll go into Leo in your 8th house. Now, it is the 8th house, which is going to bring lots of transformations. But the thing about having K2 in the 8th house is that it's going to give you the power to get through it, because it's the general and knows how to fight wars. The thing about this too, though, is that Mars and K2 together, which you see are together, and this will happen more when it gets closer to 28 degrees. So it'll happen through, within a month, like later. When Mars and K2 get together, it can be war, like a trigger of war. So just know that you might have to do some fighting to get through these 8th house. 8th house is sudden explosive events that just change your life. It could be inheritance. It could be occultish things. It could be death. It's explosive. So, but you have Mars to help you fight through it, to help you be able to survive. But right now you're feeling this debilitation. That's okay. It won't be there for long. Right now you also have Venus transiting the 3rd, debilitated in the 3rd. So there's a communication that you want to be more creative. And we did say that you have had more creativity this year, but when Venus goes in, could be about 6 weeks that it's in a sign, it actually can really feel like you're not able to get it manifested. It's second from the moon, though. So if we go from the moon, Venus is second from the moon, which gives you a creative ability to find how to make money. But the fact is, again, because it's debilitated, it doesn't have the strength to really carry it through. There's not a lot of strength giving you that at the moment. The only strength that just happened that you can really rely on is the Saturn in Pisces, the Rahu and Aquarius, and the Gemini, Jupiter and Gemini. The rest of it's kind of like dampening some of that. So you'll, as the year goes on, it's going to get better. So let's go into Thursday. So Thursday, this is this Thursday. Today's Monday. So Thursday, the moon is still in the 3rd with Venus. We have Neptune but see how they're getting closer together? The moon is now with Saturn, which is making your mind become more disciplined and have to not be so emotional. And because Saturn is with Neptune, Saturn's working overtime here. You're also going to be trying to, because it's in Pisces, trying to be dreamy and escape. But Saturn's like, It's kind of holding both of you, both of those aspects of you. So you want to see, and then you have Mercury in the fourth house, and that is communication in the home, better communication in the home, and maybe multimedia, maybe doing some media work in the home. But there's lots of illusions that need to be grounded by Saturn, and that's really what's happening on this day. And we're going to go into Friday. Friday, we have the moon changing nakshatras into Revati, which is the most spiritual, and they say it's the most blessed nakshatra of the entire zodiac, and it joins energies with the sun and Venus in your 10th house because they share a degree. So you will find that you'll be able to, your mind, and it's a little bit further away from Saturn and Neptune now. So it's actually you're still going to have spirituality, but less delusion. And the sun's going to bring in that clarity, and the Venus is going to bring in more creativity to kind of strengthen that situation. So you're coming out of this on Friday, which is great. And then we have Saturday. So on Saturday, we have the moon going into the fourth house. Mercury has left and is now in the fifth house. So now your communication skills and media skills are going into creativity, and also with your kids and romance. And you have moon. Okay. We have second degree. So see the moon that's in the second degree. What's interesting is that it also connects with your Jupiter, which is in the second degree. And this is also going to connect with your natal Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto. So this day, when you have these degrees that are being shared, and then also your natal moon. So natal moon and your transiting moon. So, and that's in your fourth house. This is in your sixth house, Jupiter. So fourth, sixth, and we've got fourth, sixth, 10th, and 12th. That's intense. So this day on Saturday, there's a lot of your moon is going to be connected to all of these planets. There's going to be a lot of expansion. Your mind's going to be expanding. The way that you think about your home is going to be expanding. The way that you think about your career is going to be, you're going to be grounding it and also having a lot of changes because Pluto's there to help with that. And then you have Neptune, which is bringing in the unconscious and the other realms, the other cosmic realms in there. So this is a really interesting day. I would do some journaling on this day. Use your, and really consider writing a book. Just meditate on that and see how that feels for you. So strong desire to focus on work. Communication is strong, and you have the blessings from Jupiter. Beautiful. And we have next Monday. So today is what, the 19th, so it's the 25th. So moon is now in the fifth house, and it's really close to Uranus, which is those sudden change. It's very similar to the eighth house. It's sudden changes, can be explosive changes. But moon is exalted here, so your mind is thinking pretty clearly. But that also you're going to be bringing. It's going to be bringing a lot of changes. You're still connected to Jupiter, and you're still connected directly. And it's the sixth house. So your 10th house is now from the sixth house of this, which means you're going to be working hard. You're going to feel that you need to work, and you're going to see some changes in how to do that. Yeah, beautiful. And then you're going to could have explosive awareness. Something shifts too with the sun. Yeah, explosive awareness and sun, because your natal Pluto is the same degree, the exact same degree as the transiting Uranus. So there's going to be some shifts in your career and in your creativity regarding your career on this day. Okay, let's go to this is now we're moving into June 8th. So these are some things I want you to take note of in the rest of the year. Okay. Make sure I said everything else I wanted to say. Yeah, Mars chooses battles. K2 wants perfection. Okay, so the Mars and K2 aspect. Here we are. Here we are, June 8th. Mars goes in with K2. It's not going to be, like I said, it will get stronger as it gets closer in degree. So, but this is where it changes. The first few days of this is June 8th. The first few days it's going to be in Gandanta, which means that it will have a strangeness to it. It won't have all the power yet. It'll kind of come and go spotty because it's coming from a water sign going into a fire sign, which creates steam. So be careful for a few days, but it will start to feel more powerful. You will start to feel your Mars gaining more strength as it goes through this. It's in your 8th house. Again, we talked about that, which is going to be sudden changes, but you have Mars there they always say that when you have a malefic in the 8th house, it actually helps you. It doesn't mean you're not going to go through things, but you have the support to do it, to get through it. So if there is, and let me look. And watch your, oh, I know. Watch your, watch your, sorry, I'm thinking through. Watch your, you want to get up your security in your home and be careful with your family because there's a lot of things happening in June and July that is really intense and really big life-changing events can occur. So just update your security and also the 8th house the things that you have in the 8th house affecting just update your security. I don't want to give any energy to that. Okay. I don't want to create something, just might want to look into security through the house and being more aware during these months. Don't travel, stay low. Okay. Be careful for a few days. Careful. It's very dangerous. It's going to get more and more and more. Can be okay. So you can be argumentative. So watch that. You're going to have a tendency. You're going to have your strength back, but you're going to feel like I'm right because you got Mars there, and you have that feeling of experience because K2 is activating that past life experience in the 9th house of higher knowledge. So it's going to be like, I know everything. So you just be careful of that. It's been in the 7th house, remember? So it's been, relationships have been a little bit tough in that stage, but you should start to feel like you at least have some power coming into this. Saturn, K2, remember you are in Saturn, K2, Jupiter right now. And you have Saturn and K2 and Jupiter. These are the 3 houses that ignites. The 3rd house of communications, transformation, travel. So it could ground you a little bit in travel, but because it could ground you in travel. And Jupiter in 6th house, and we've got K2 in the 8th. Those are the planets that this is changing July 8th. So that's your dasha, and that's what's going to be happening right now, but it's changing in July 8th. So just be aware that you're going to feel a difference when that happens. Okay, so let's go into, or July 18th, sorry. July 18th. So July 18th, we still have Mars there, but it's getting closer to Ketu. See how it's getting there? And you want to be careful with that. We've got, and this is your natal, but this transiting Mars is getting closer to transiting Ketu. So I want you to know that July 18th, there's a climax. This is the beginning of the climax with Mars and K2. It's going to last probably 5 or 6 days. So be careful, very, very dangerous times during this time. And all that means is just be diligent, be aware, do not up your security, and just make sure that and up your security in your home, please. I just keep hearing that. That's um and do not travel during this time if you can avoid it. Please just be home. Um so this brings us to the climax. This is for everybody, but I wanted to go to yours July 20th. July 20th is a massive, massive day. So it starts really on the 18th for you. But then the world is also going through this because we've got transiting Uranus with transiting Moon in exact degrees. And it's also in exact degrees with Saturn. When Saturn's in exact degrees with something, it's basically in the same house. So it's basically being controlled. So we've got Saturn and Neptune. And when Saturn and Neptune get together in the history, there's been 9/11, there's been war. So there's been catastrophic events. May not happen, could happen within a week or two. So, you always want to, with all these dates that I'm giving you, these are just the dates that they're changing and the things are activated. Does not mean they will happen on that day. It could mean, like, for example, for me with the Rahu, because when Rahu and Ketu change houses, there's always a sting, and that happens for everybody. For me, the sting happened about 5 days prior to it. But it was absolutely for the houses that it is for me, it's the sting. And I've been talking to other clients and they've been having the same thing. And it for this year, for some reason, a lot of people had it a few days before, a week before. So don't hold the date to it. It's within a week before, week two before, week two after. And you'll see, and in these areas, remember that this is communication, transformation, the things you feel courageous about, your siblings. That's what this house is, the third house. And then we have this happening in your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth house. This fifth house is children, romance. Yeah, this is basically what that's going to be in. And then we have going into that sun. The sun is now going to be in 3 degrees, which is matching your Saturn, and that is in your 7th house. And when the sun is close in degrees with Uranus and Moon, this is a very, very intense time. You have to remember, for you, when these planets transit, it's really important for you because all of your planets are so compressed into one that they really do all affect each other, more than other people's charts. So really, self-care, be on your guard. Do not venture far from home. I'm not even kidding. Um, Also, I would be careful with cars, being in cars, driving around to 23 degrees here. We've got 26 and 25. Yeah, so please just be careful in those times. So, because your Mars is on top of K2, Uranus sudden shifts. Okay, so let's go into the next one. Sorry, this is going so long, but you know how I like to give you everything, and you wanted the year. So we only have a couple more. So when we go into Uranus, I'm sorry, when we go into August, this is August, you're going to see that this starts to change a little bit. Your communication's going to be better in Mercury. In August because of Mercury. But it is retrograde, so it's kind of going internally. You're starting to think about things and trying to figure out better ways to do things in your relationships. It's going to be with the sun almost exactly on top of that. Which could be, it actually could say that you could have a hard time with this. And it's going to be communication issues. So you really want to think about, calm yourself down when this, try to still your mind. There's gonna be a lot of illusions in this area. Okay. Then we're gonna go feel energy, do higher learning, maybe travel. Yeah, you can travel more in August than you could in July and June. We've got August 20th. I wanted to go through August 20th because that's when we have Jupiter moving in. Remember, I told you it's going to be moving out of Gemini for a little while and then going back. This is when the blessings will come into your relationship. So you might have a little bit of hard time before that, but the blessings come in when Jupiter goes into Cancer. It's exalted there, and it gives you just so many beautiful like expansions, trying to help you through all of that. And then, wow, and then look at what happens to your 10th house. It's just so much energy going in. So your relationship's going to be better, and you are going to be working like amazingly on your dharma, and maybe even having some epiphanies about that because you have your sun going in there. You got a stronger Mars there helping you do things. Yeah, this is going to be a great time for that. And then we have November. So November 20th to be exact. So in November 20th, we have let's see, we've got Saturn. It is retrograde now. So Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, and Saturn means that all of your discipline is going to be now like inner workings, and also working on lineage, working on the things that you've done it before, repeating things to try to get them better, those kinds of things. And also Neptune is going retrograde too, which means the illusions are going to be easing up just a bit because you're going to be going internally. This again, writing, journaling, maybe. Especially because look, you've got Mercury in the 11th house. 11th house is gains. So Mercury, communication, writing. Yeah. And you've got your sun there with the moon and the Mars. So you're going to be gaining. And look at that book. And then let's see. Yeah, and Uranus is going to be going retrograde. So we're going to have a little bit of an ease. And to December 9th, this is the final month of the year that we're looking at. This is going to be, we've got Neptune. So Saturn is going forward again. So now you're going to start being disciplined and working hard externally again. And you have Jupiter going back into Gemini. This is because it's retrograde now back into Gemini, and it will be retrograde for a few weeks. So now your expansion is internally. So now your expansion is healing your body, healing from, your internal workings of things. We have Moon is 12th from the Moon, which could mean you might be even getting more psychic information, especially since Rahu's there. Yeah, there could be a lot. It could be traveling long distance. Then we've got the Mercury, Venus, Sun, Uranus in the 11th house. So we still have that going on now. It's going forward. So all the internal works, maybe you were digesting things. Now the fast moving planet of getting things done is, Mercury is going forward. And it's got that discipline from Saturn, and it's got your Mars. You still have this Mars that doesn't like to stick to anything, but it's a little bit. Oh, this is the transiting Mars with your Mars. That's right. With your natal Mars. So you've got a lot of spiritual things. So this is the year in a nutshell, right? So let's make sure because I went off the notes and I stopped looking at them. So let me see. In Cancer, debilitated in the 12th, lost subconscious world. Mars is energy, exploring the third conscious, unsettled mind. Explored, but yeah, we got that. Great writers. Mars in the 12th house makes great writers. That's another thing of where that comes from. 2025, watch your spending as well, because Jupiter in the 6th can mean that you get more debt. So be careful with that. The thing about these planets is there are things that can happen depending on choices that you make. And it's kind of like gives you it can be this, or it's going to be anywhere between this and this. You know what I mean? Jupiter is going to expand your opportunities for work, but it could expand your debt. So get what I'm saying? Okay. So, the new beginning. So you have your whole year that it's just a different perspective, and this is a new beginning for you. It's the luckiest year for you. There's more positive and happy things for you this year. You won't be as serious this year. You have a new level of confidence this year. The most fortunate blessings because of your moon, because for 2025, rekindle old friendships, self-growth activities, meditations, yoga, chanting, journaling, discover balance. And Jupiter's also this big blessing for you. And you're going to have that authority. Let's see if I missed anything on this page or this page. Yeah, so this is really, okay. I feel like I just wanted to do you justice and I wanted to give you the best that, I, you know, that I could. And I feel like this is really, I would turn the camera on, but uh, I don't have it facing towards me. I have it facing towards Baba. So, so yes, this is a beautiful year for you. There's a lot of challenges. There could be because of that eighth house. This is just a word of caution. You're going to get money this year. It could be from a divorce, from inheritance, other people's money, um, settlements. You do have some issues with the marriage, but whatever happens this year, it's going to change. You're going to have transformations that change your life forever. And remember that this is always, always, even when it looks like it's not, the best thing for you. It's the best thing for your consciousness where you are now. It's the best thing for your learning, and it's the best thing for all involved because that's the way that this um, that God works. Works for the best for everything. The energy is always doing that, even when it looks really, really hard. So I hope that but so many blessings and lots of really good work things. Look for those things that were suggested in your chart about the jobs that require listening, and you're going to be expanding your knowledge. So maybe you go back to school, or maybe you um, are just reading and researching and or taking classes. It's a great time for that. Oh, and you mentioned something about the Black Mirror, and yeah, this is the time when you're going to be doing really, especially in the beginning part of this year, really internal work to find things. I want to just say, set yourself up for support so that if you need support to translate, doing work with the Black Mirror on your own can be challenging because you see the shadow. And sometimes we need perspective and grounding while we do that. I mean, you have to always remember that you do have the Mars in the 12th house makes you a fantastic writer and gives you so many gifts to work through things. But it also doesn't have as much strength to get things done as it could. And you'll see, especially right now with Cancer. So if you're going to do it, I would say set yourself up to have support to translate what you are witnessing, journal about it, and then go to someone to work through what you're seeing. You know what? I am available if you want to work on that. I just asked the guides to make sure that that was okay to say. But you have other people, I'm sure too. So go to what feels right for you, and then get that um, support, because otherwise, with the mental issues that you're working through, it can actually bring a lot of things up. And if you don't have somebody to hold your hand through it, it can lead you into some really, and you have that eighth house uh, stuff coming in, but also but K2 is experience. It's leadership in certain areas that you have gained through past lives coming in to your eighth house um, of occult, of, you know, but also remember there's K2 is also cutting away. So K2 is a really fascinating node. because and you right now, oh, that's why I'm stalling. I'm like, there's something I did we talk about when your dashas change? I think we did, but your dashas are changing. Yeah, I think I did. And when your dashas change, it's going to be uh, Saturn, K2 Saturn. So Saturn and K2, big, 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 big deals for you. So we want to pay attention to the movements when they change nakshatras, for example. Each time when he changes, when Saturn changes the nakshatras and when K2 changes the nakshatras, it's going to affect you because those are the planets that are ruling you. So, okay, if you have any further questions, let me know. But I really, I just want to say thank you again. You are a great being, a shining star. You have so much beautiful things coming to you. And even with the challenges that you are facing, you have the support to move through it. And yeah, I keep hearing to tell you to really build and cultivate that inner working with yourself, with yourself, with yourself. So that whatever happens in the relationships around you, your siblings or your father, your spouse or your partners, that you have that inner working, the self-love, cultivating that self-love. And honestly, you have so much to be proud of. So much to be proud of because you are an example of integrity and an example of honesty. And it's such an honor to have done this reading for you. So many, many blessings. And I'll just leave with if there's any excess positive energy that we don't need, can we send this off to the most suffering in the world that can use this energy? Om Shanti 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti